Okay, I'm back. That was like 2 seconds later. Okay, so this is the divorce. It's weird reading it, man. It's just weird. I'm gonna focus. It says, my name is Nancy Delgado Reyna. I am above the age of 18 years. And I'm fully competent to make this affidavit. The facts stated in this affidavit are within my personal knowledge and true and correct. I am the petitioner in this case. On November 14th, 2023, my husband, Ryan Nico Morena, Nico, got mad because our son, William, age 2, was trying to get his attention while he was on a call. I tried to distract William, and he ran into the hallway. I went to the kitchen, finished putting the groceries away, and when Nico finished the call, he spanked William in one of the rooms and told him not to bother him when he's on the phone. So, let me tell you what really happened. We want to go through this marriage counseling that it was just fake, boys. I want real change. I want real love. When I experience love with your mom, it's a real love that I give. And I know not a lot of people experience it. So we went twice already to this Movimiento Familiar that's part of the church in St. Francis. We're the youngest ones, and it just was boring because there was no feeling. They were just going like a textbook, like as if you went to school, Isaac, and just learning the stuff. Like, you get bored. You're like, this is not real. I'm not learning anything. And times it by 10 because I'm so into wanting to be a better husband and a better father and all this stuff we already knew. Even Nancy already knew. We read through the book and we're going page by page. I'm like, and then there's a guy that was trying to open up about cheating, and then the main guy like paused him. I'm like, he's about to open up. That he's never used to open up, and you just cut him off. Like, from then I was like, this is ridiculous. I don't like it. But I'm like, if you wanted to show good on paper that we went there, fine. If you want to act all fake, fine. But it means nothing to me because that's not real change. And then they called. Well, throughout the day, a week before that, boys, I was fired. And I didn't expect that. I was doing great with that job, boys. It was so easy, and I ordered the wrong tote bag, and it burned the machine, and it turned into a big cost, and they ended up firing me. And I really enjoyed that job, not because of the job, not because of the money, it's because it gave me time with you boys. And it just, out of nowhere, it went away. And I kept going. I don't know if you remember Isaac and Betty, but I said, when I got fired, I went straight to work afterwards because I wanted just to forget about the day, but I kept going. I continued doing DoorDash that night. I came home that night. And I told you guys, your mom looked devastated, like as if, oh, not again. Like, that was a weird look she gave me. She never gave me that look before. That was weird. But I didn't think nothing of it at the time. And I told you, boys, I'm like, I'm doing this for you, boys. You keep going. So a week went by. And then they called us. And then, well, a Sunday, right before that, Tuesday, November 14th? I forgot I thought it was Monday, but that Sunday, boys, we went to church like always, and I ended up chatting with this guy, and he was this long member of the church. I knew him from before, and we started talking, and he just became like a hypocrite. Again, you realize when you learn about the real truth of God, you realize that there are a lot of hypocrites in this world. More in the church. So I got confused that he was trying to convince me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And it looked like I was a bad person, and it's so weird. So I'm like, why am I even fighting for you, God? Like, why? Here I am losing my job. I give everything to you, and I'm like, that's why I fight a lot in my head, boys. I do all these good things. I don't cheat on your mother. I don't look at pornography. I don't drink. I don't go out with friends. I spend so much time just spending with work and you guys. And I just never understood why God always put me through so much bad stuff of not getting enough money, of not being able to pay for our rent, and getting evicted, and getting a job loss. I all these things have been hitting in my head for many years, and I kept going. I kept having fun with you boys. I kept having a great time. I kept going. And yes, I was mean to you. I spanked you many times, Isaac, but I stopped it, Mijito, I swear. That's why I wanted real change. That's why I played with you more. I understand you more. I listened to you more. All this was in my head, and then this whole guy is convincing me. I'm like, why am I even fighting for you, God? I don't understand. I do everything you want, and I still get crapped on. I don't understand. And so I thought it was Monday, but I think it might have been Tuesday, but yeah, the 14th. After all that's in my head and the years of it, boys, and not making enough money, that's why I had to hurry up, because the whole week went by and I didn't make enough. And I'm like, crap, I need money, because I know the rent was going to be due in 2 weeks. I'm like, man, I wasn't making enough in a week, and I'm like, man, what am I going to do? And so I went to work, and Nancy, then your mom said you needed groceries, and I didn't even have time to shop for groceries, not even an hour, so I did it on the app. I went to go pick it up, and it was about 3 o'clock, and I told your mom, okay, I have to drop it off. And throughout that time, I was getting text messages from your mom saying this lady, the coordinator of this group, the Movimiento Familiar, they were saying that, oh, you didn't log in, or you didn't make your registration online. This is a world one, or like a Vatican recognized one, and it's very official, and you have to sign up. If you don't sign up, you can't be a part of us, and you have to do it today. Today's the deadline. Almost like yelling at us. And she's talking to Nancy. Nancy said it to me because I'm the one that takes care of it. And then I was trying to go on this website, and it was just so weird. Like, it wasn't working. I'm like, it was like $36 to pay, and I'm like, I barely had that, but at least we had that. And I'm like, it's not letting me. It's all this login stuff that it goes back to the same page after you verify your number, and it was just go back and forth. I'm like, what's going on? And I couldn't do it. So I took a snapshot of it, showing that it kept loaded, and then it just went dead and went back to the main page, and I had to start all over again. And I didn't know what region. You had to put the zone, the region. And I'm like, I don't know this information. So I ended up sending what I had, and I'm like, okay, give it to Nancy. That's all I can do. And I was biased. I'm like, I don't care if we do it or not. Like, I know this group means nothing. And then they're forcing us. Like, this is weird. So I want to end it, because I'm like, I got so many other things. So I didn't want to worry about it. So I got the food. I came home, and I thought it was it. But then she said, no, you have to. She brought the information, tell me what zone and what region. And I'm like, crap. So boys, I don't like using the phone. I don't use the phone when I'm with you guys at home. I've been doing it for years. That's why you guys love me, because I put so much time and effort. It's not luck. It was hard work that I've done. And I felt weird because I was on the couch. And William came up to me just... I love him so much. He came up to me and I was doing this stupid login crap. And I didn't want to do it, boys. I just wanted to play with you boys. And I had to do it. And I just got so frustrated. I'm like, God, like I'm realizing, I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm ignoring William, all this stuff in my head. I'm like, just stop it. But your mother wanted me to do this. And I'm like, gosh. And so I was just slowly getting frustrated because I saw William. And I felt his, he had no shirt on and he had and his little shorts. And I felt his skin on my side here. And I was doing the stupid phone and I hated it. And it was still messing up. And I'm like, I want this stupid thing to end. I don't want to deal with it. And then I gave up. I was happy. I'm like, you know what? No. I'm going to stop it. So instead of keep going with it, that was not working. Because I'm not going to go crazy over it. So I took a snapshot, sent it to Nancy. And I told Nancy right there, I told your mom, I was like, send it to him. That's all we can do. We did our part. And I gave up. I'm like, if they don't call us a member, then fine. I was like, don't worry about it. And she said that to her. And I went to the bathroom all the way back. I went number one. And as I'm going number one, I'm hearing your mom talking on the phone. And she rarely talks on the phone. So I'm like... And I know how she talks to your sisters, like happier. And the way she was, her tone that I was barely hearing. I'm like, this sounds like a serious phone call. Like, what's going on? And she passed me the phone as I was walking by. And the guy, the coordinator's husband called. He was like yelling at both of us. Like, oh, we have to do it now. I can do it right now. And give me your email. And Nancy was like flustered. So she passed me the phone, her phone. And I was talking to him and he had this weird accent. I wasn't understanding in Spanish. And William wanted to play with me. He wanted to play with me. He was grabbing me. And I looked at your mom and I'm like, get him. And she tried and she was like, no quiso. And I got so frustrated. I'm like, what the hell's going on? All this is happening. And I was like, yeah, fine, whatever. I couldn't even hear him because William was crying a little and he just wanted to play with me, boys. I know he just wanted to play with me. Because I always play with him. I always play with you guys. So, I don't know why I took him in the bed after I finished. I got so frustrated. I haven't hit him in almost a year. Like, I stopped hitting you guys because I know it wasn't good, boys. I know. So I took him and I spanked him like 3 times. I said some stupid stuff like, oh, it said a little bit, but I mentioned more specifically that you don't talk when adults are talking on the phone, like something stupid. I'm like, what? As I'm saying, I don't even know why. I just got so frustrated. And I said, stop crying. And he said, yes, Dad. Yes, Dad. And I just hated myself. I hated myself, boys. And the things in my head was like, all this for this stupid Catholic adult group that means nothing. So I just got so angry. I was like, I fucking hate this house. And I got so angry that as I was walking into the hallway, we had an uneven thing, and I went to the side. I was touching the walls because it was so small, and then another thought came in my head, boys, that in a trailer, I don't care what your mom says now, because now she's a hypocrite. She would say, oh, it doesn't matter how small our house was. That was one of the things that got me so angry, that we downsized and downsized, and your mom kept trying to mess with me, saying, oh, it's not about that, it's about us, we're a family. And I believed her, boys. That's why I was happy. But in reality, I wasn't providing, and I kept trying, boys. I kept trying. I never gave up trying, boys. But it hurted me as a man. It just hurted me so much. So it reminded me in my head of how small this place is, and I just got so mad. I said, fuck you, God, in my head. Fuck you. I got so mad at God. And so I kicked her. I pushed down the toe that fell. Then I kicked the toy. And that didn't go anywhere. And I was right there in the kitchen. I slid. Well, I guess swatted. It says swatted, but I slid the plate with the potatoes that it wasn't even supposed to be there. It was supposed to be on the other side. But your mom left it there because she was putting the potatoes away. And I never saw Vincent, boys. I never saw him. I never wanted to hurt you, boys. I never. I slid it and it bounced and it landed on Vincent. And I didn't know what to do. I said, I hope he fucking dies. I was just so angry. I'm like, what the fuck, God? And your mom went over and she grabbed him, and I saw you boys kind of scared, and I just walked away, boys. And I went back to work. I don't know what else to do. I went back to work. And I kept saying, like, fuck you, God, why are you doing this to me? That whole time I was just so mad at God, and then throughout the night, your mom called like around 6 o'clock. And yes, boys, I was just so mad, and I never said these words before. Well, let's continue on, because that's the next part. So says he spanked, and when he was on the way to the living room was saying in loud voice to me, why didn't you take care of him during that time? That part was wrong, because I told her after I spanked him, or I told her before I spanked him. So during that time, Isaac and Betty, our other sons, ran behind the couch. Nico began to kick some toys, but I also threw the tote. They didn't mention this either. Some toys. No, I didn't kick a toy. I kicked the little train, the red and orange train that Betty and William would slide, and I would have fun with you guys. And I kicked it, and it was on the table, or on the bottom of the table. It didn't go anywhere. Then he kept telling me things like, leave? I don't remember that. Yeah, it's funny. I don't remember that. He walked to the kitchen where there was a porcelain. I didn't walk. Like, I was gliding, I guess. I was just throwing things. Those are the three things I grabbed, or threw. He swatted the plane and went flying, and it hit our 4-month-old son, Vincent, on the left side of his face, causing a bruise. Vincent was sitting on a baby bouncer around 5 feet away from the table. Immediately, I went to take Vincent out of the bouncer. He was crying, and Nico stayed for a minute, babbling. Then he left the house to go back to work. I don't even think your mom knows the word babbling. But that's what I said. I was like, I hope he fucking dies. Because I don't give a shit. I was like, I don't give a fuck. And 10 minutes later, I called my sister Rada and told her what had happened. She said we could go to her house. She came to the house while we were getting ready to leave. While she was there, I called Nico and we talked for about 40 minutes. He mentioned that if we leave the house, he would kill us. After the call, we left the house and went with my sister to her house on 10601. So yes, boys, I said it. The macho-ness came out of me. It's never. Well, she never talked about leaving me. Like, she never. We were always strong. So yes, I admit that I said those things. I said, you don't take. And I don't know if you hear the whole 40 minutes. I'm sure you don't. They probably just clipped it to only certain words. But I told her, I said, what are you going to do without me? Because we give each other everything. I said, if you don't leave, and again, it just sucks, boys, because she knew I was already still angry, and she knew it. It's like when you're down, but whatever. It doesn't matter, boys. I said what I said, and I know that was, 6 months ago, and everything that I said before, that, oh, if you leave me, I'll kill you. She didn't write that, or did she? Yeah, and that if we leave the house, no, not leave the house, leave me, that would kill them. And I remember Isaac said, well, I don't want to die. And I remember I was asking, and I was playing, again, when you're low, you fight even more. So I remember trying to manipulate you, Isaac, to say, oh, well, Mom is doing this. You got the worst of me recorded. Well, there you go. But I don't feel bad about it, boys, because two things. One, I've proven she left. And obviously I went there 2 times in peace. I went to jail for those 2 times. It'll mention it too in that. And I technically could have had a chance to hurt you guys. When you came out and saw me, Isaac and Betty, I could have easily taken you guys, because that's how it happens. That's how what bad people do. If you ever look up Amber Alerts, a lot of it is parents kidnapping their own kids. And I did not do that. I remember it came in my head. I'm like, whoa, like, this is how it happens when people take kids. And I looked at you and I had crushed your skin, Isaac, and all I saw was pure love. And I'm like, why would anyone do that? So that proves it, boys. That was just out of frustration I said those things. I never would mean it. Because there are opportunities I could have done it and I chose not to. Because I'm not that person. I'm not this evil man. I'm not this bad father or bad husband. It's just crap happens. I got frustrated. And I'm sorry, but this is just so much. All of it's taken away. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't understand. This whole Catholic world, they're just hypocrites. We pray every time, Our Father, and the part of the Father, and forgive us as we trespass against others. Or I don't remember part of it. Let me say the whole thing. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. It's in our Father prayer. And your mother never forgave me, and I'm sorry. I don't understand it, boys. She says she's a strong Catholic, a strong believer. Why doesn't she forgive me? I've proven everything. But on paper, it doesn't look like it. And I'll continue reading this. But yeah, boys, it's all those things where I'm like, I never, and then even now, I never, well, there's two things. So that's the first thing, that I could have had the chance to quote unquote kill you guys, and I would never do it, boys. They twisted my words when I was just so frustrated. And then the other thing of not wanting to kill you guys, she literally left me. She's leaving me. And I still love her, boys. I would never want to hurt her. I still love your mother because she's part of everything that we built together. And I would never hate that. I would never kill that. I was just so frustrated. I said those things, but I never meant it, boys. It's like a bad dream. I don't understand. So that evening I made a police report and CPS got involved. Nico was arrested that night for injury to a child. Same night we took Vincent to the hospital to be checked for injury, and the doctor said he was fine since the plate hit him on the cheekbone and he was asymptomatic. I don't even know what asymptomatic means. So that tells you, boys. Oh, that's the other thing I want to mention. Apart from that, so I guess three things that, as you learn about criminal cases, true documented cases of truly evil men and women and what they do, I do not fit the category, boys, and I'm never those people. Believe me, if people want to kill and really hurt their family, they would do it. And I would never do it, boys. There are truly cruel people that hurt their kids, and for some reason they put me in this category of it. And it hurts, boys, because I'm not that person. I'm not that person, boys. And it feels weird, like you've been convicted of something that you didn't do. Like I'm a criminal. I'm not a criminal. I just got frustrated, that's it. And there are many cases where they would say the same thing, they get frustrated, but they do a lot worse. They actually kill people. They actually hurt them. They actually rape them. They actually abuse them. And then they use that stupid excuse, oh, I got frustrated. And I'm lumped into that category because I'm saying the same thing, but my actions speak louder. And I'm doing this slideshow, and I have 864 items of pictures and videos of us from just the past 3 years on my phone. And all of it's beautiful, boys. There's a proof. After I'm going all this back and forth in my head of God not working with me, I still believed in him. I still was happy with you guys. And only time will tell, but I've recorded all of them. I'm making a slideshow. I'm putting it on YouTube. I'm doing all this so you guys can see at a later time. But by that time, you guys will be older and I've lost time with you boys. And that's what hurts the most, man. And I'll be there with you guys. That's what hurts the most, boys. Because I want to be there. And there's so many bad fathers that give up. I see them every day. They go out with another woman. They have another family. They forget about their kids. And I'm not them. I want my boys. I want my family. I want it, boys. I want you guys. And I'm sorry for getting frustrated. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Isaac. I'm sorry, Penny. William and Vincent, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for spanking you, William. I'm sorry. There's more. There's more. I think there's another page. I thought there was. Where is it? Oh, yeah, right here. So when Nico was arrested, a condition of bond was put in place to prevent Nico from seeing the children or returning to the home we had lived in together. 512B Campground Road, Waco, Texas, 76705. Since the kids and I moved in with my sister, the conditions of bond were modified to allow Nico to return to that residence, and later it was modified again to allow him supervised contact with the kids, if CPS allowed it. He is still ordered to remain away from my sister's home, where I'm still staying with the kids. CPS assisted us with services, and I started taking classes in December. Notice the word started. I started too. We all start. I started the classes too. And our oldest son, Isaac, started taking counseling. I bet you hate that class, huh, Isaac? It's just, I'll tell you the Bible story of Thomas. How he didn't believe that Jesus was resurrected. He didn't believe it. So he said, no, until I can touch his womb, in his hole in his side of his chest, on the side, then I believe. And Jesus came to him. He showed it to him. He touched his wound. He was like, dang, all right, I believe now. He was like, well, good. But he was like, blessed are the ones who believe and don't see. That's what it is, what your mother's doing now. It's very simple. I've changed. It's just simple, but I did it. I'm going to read this to you that I've done it very unorthodoxly. But I know God is on my side. That's all I need, boys. And he's the controller of everything. So I think I'm on a good side. Controller of the world, and I believe in him. That's what makes me happy still. That's what makes me from not drinking. All these things they joke about, or I say they joke, they talk about that I can't drink. I'm like, you guys don't know me. I don't drink at all. It's funny. I have the bottles there, and I still don't drink. I told you guys I was going to show you how to appreciate it, but good Lord, like, it just doesn't tickle my fancy. It just doesn't, I don't like it. I'd rather have a soda. So it's funny. It's right there in the shop where I sleep every night. And it's nothing to me, boys. I don't get tempted of none of that. Seeing other women, nothing, boys. But what I'm gonna tell you, right, or what I'm gonna read, is gonna look bad. It's gonna look bad. So buckle up. And yeah, I bet you don't like those classes, because I bet you're like, I don't need anything. I love my dad. I love my mom. What else do you want? Like, it's just simple. But we got to take these classes. Going to ask all these little questions. And you're like, what the heck is going on? So I can imagine Heiser was like, okay, okay. And I wouldn't be surprised if you get mad at your mom. Well, please don't. Your mom is going through a lot already with her own family. And that's the sad part, because that would never change. I've changed. But your family, her family will never change. So it's just very sad, boys. It's very sad. Your mom's a slave to them. There's nothing we can do about it. That's why they're all going to gang up on you. They're all going to make you feel bad. I bet you they're going to say, oh, you're just like your father, angry and all this stuff. And they make you feel like you're worthless. It's coming, boys, because that's how they treated me. Like you're an outsider. They won't let you experiment with cool, creative things. They won't let you do anything. They're going to make you feel like, oh, you can only play for a little bit and that's it. They're not going to make you be creative, nothing. Because they're not your father. It's just simple. It's a job to them. It's not a duty from God. It's a job. It just sucks, boys. So, where am I at? The caseworker informed me that my husband started taking classes in January. On February 14, 2024, my sister and I met with the social worker to sign a safety plan, but Nico stopped answering phone calls and text messages from CPS and did not sign the safety plan. He also stopped following the services requested by CPS and ignored the calls and text messages from the instructors. The last week of February 2024, Nico left the residence at 512B Campground Road, Waco, Texas, started living in his car. So let me tell you about that real quick. The real story. Boys, I started taking those classes, and same thing. When you know God, you know the real thing, and everything else that tries to fake it, you're uninterested in. So that's what I did. I went these classes. The guy, they didn't even remember my name. The guy, I'm literally telling how I feel. He was like, no, hold on. We got to go step by step. And I'm like, I'm literally opening up. And the same concept is the same thing. And I learned from Dito's, your uncle's ex-wife, Amber. She's the one I talk to a lot. Well, I don't talk to, but we do this Marco Polo where I would record and send it to her, and she would record and send it to me. So we don't talk live, but it's opening up. It's really cool. And that's the only person I'm talking to. And I probably do it like every other week. We kind of check in and talk a little. But again, I haven't talked to her live at all. She's a social worker too. She does therapy things, and she's telling me the real reality of it. Like, it's a job, boys. And your mom knows that. We talked about this way before. I learned it from business. It's a business. Yeah, they would never do it if it's free. So yes, they put in the work, they do this, but they don't care about you. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a business. That's how business is. Even nonprofits is a funny way of saying quietly making money. And you gotta make money. It's just so dumb how people try to act like, oh no, they really care. No. This says BetterHelp is a company, and they are traded on the stock market. They're owned by a publicly owned company in the health sector. And in the stock market, you're going to learn, boys. I'm going to teach you the stock market and everything, because that's how you make money. They answer to their shareholders, and they need maximum profits and minimum losses. So that's how it is. So that's why they do this telehealth, because there's so much money saved. Instead of getting offices, they don't care about you. It's just funny. And then the actual social workers are the ones that are really getting screwed, because they're getting the least amount of money. because they're on the very bottom. They're actually dealing with the consumer, and who cares about the consumer? Like, so they're getting the worst. They get all these weird clients and no one shows up, and it's just hilarious. So I tried it, and he just treated me like I was just a piece of crap. I'm like, I'm sorry, this is not real. I want real change. I'm literally without my family. I want real change. And the best way is to endure it. That's why I stopped it. I said, okay, I know what I need to do. I need to save money. How to save money is to leave this place, because I was paying close to $1,000 after everything. They gave me a couple months. That's why I stayed till last month. In March I started, but yeah, a couple months they gave me like half off for the rent, but they're gonna go back to 800 and then a couple $100 for the electricity and for the water. So close to $1,000 in my head. I'm like, I have to say goodbye. I'm like, I can sacrifice living in this car, and I did. So March, April, so 2 months, boys, I lived in my car. The car broke down, so I had to get a hotel a couple times, and Jonathan's a mechanic. He helped me out. And yeah, boys, yeah, it's crazy. And I kept doing it, boys. And that's when you really understood. There's levels. You accept it. I accepted it. I didn't need no therapy. And it says where I'm at. So yeah, let me finish this part. So, yeah. So Nico decided to come to the house to try. Hold on. No, that's the other part. But yeah, she basically says he thinks the therapy and classes do not help him. And it's true. It did not help me. But again, it looks bad because we all have this fake Thomas feel. Like, oh no, we need documentation. We need all this. But in reality, it doesn't mean nothing. There's so many cases, documented cases, where they've taken those classes and they still do harm to their family. Like, I know this, boys. I learned so much about the intricacies of keeping a family strong. I know it. And no one cared to learn. It's literally free on the internet to learn. You just got to have that that love for your kids to do better. And that's what I did. So I know all these things, boys. And I never went through these type of therapies. And the ones I did go to, the Mexican one, that was similar to this whole fakeness. And then this one was just spot on fake. This guy forgot my name. They rescheduled a couple times. I'm like, they don't give a shit about me. But again, you can't be mad at a fox for being a fox. That's the lesson of the day. So you just have to work with it. You can't be a victim and say, oh, no. So I just departed peacefully. And I knew by doing that, I wouldn't be able to see you guys. I knew it. But I wanted real change. Again, this temporary sacrifice to get a longer reward. That's what faith is. You keep going. You keep going. Because ultimately, God is going to favor you. But on His time, not yours. So yeah, in my head, a couple months, I knew the whole thing was going to happen in May, the court. I'm okay. Who knows? But I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to embrace it. So I did it, boys. And I was thinking about starting this business little by little, but I was unsure. And then, yeah, so let me tell you some more. But yeah, that's what happened. That's why I didn't need none of that. I didn't need it. I trust in God. I trust in your mother, but she chose other things. But still, I don't blame her. She lives in this Thomas type mentality that you need to do this. And I wonder if she changed. Probably not. Because, again, these classes mean nothing. These classes mean nothing. And she's going to tell you sooner or later when she gets older, when she tells you about her trauma, how it will still affect her. Because you really have to embrace, you really have to give up everything and give everything to God. And that's what I'm doing. And you just feel great. But so many people are scared to give everything to God. They give up everything. No one would want to do it. And your mother's the same situation. I mean, once you realize more, you realize that there's so many bad people around you and you're so scared to leave them. So you just slowly forget about them. AKA her family that you're living with right now. But I can't control your mom, nor do I want to. So on March 28th, so I've been a month already in, March 28th, 2024, Nico called my sister Raina to talk about a plan he had for us. Well, it's actually Raina called me, and she wanted to know about support, child support, economic support. And it was funny, boys, because I was like, man, not, hey, how you doing? Hey, how are you doing with this whole thing? The kids are missing you. Nancy's probably missing you. Nothing. Like, what are you going to do for the economic support? Again, this disillusion. It was just sad, boys, because the way they think is, okay, let's take sides. And that tells you that they've always taken sides. They never consider me as one. And it's coming out. The truth is coming out that they believe that wholeheartedly. Your grandmother said it. Oh, we just never agree on things. And what's sad is that your mom took that risk on agreeing with me. But it looked like I manipulated her. But that's what marriage is, boys. You come together and you learn different things. That's a beautiful marriage, when you accept each other. But the other family, they're going to say, no. They're the masters. My family's the same thing. But the difference between my family and your mom's family is that I chose my family before them. And your mom didn't. Why do you think she called Raina in 10 minutes? She didn't think on her own. Let me call my sister, because that's all I know how to do. This is very sad, boys. This is very sad. And she doesn't know how to live without him. That's why you have to be strong and believe that God is putting you in these places for a reason. And I chose right. I chose correct by saying goodbye to my family, because they were saying so many bad things about your mom. So many bad things. Oh, she changed you. Oh, she doesn't care about sex. Oh, she only wants this. But that was the reason why I love your mom so much. So you have to say, fuck them. Even to your family. Why? I don't know. I'm not God. But he did give me the conscience to understand what's good and bad. And that's not good. Telling me that the person I love, that I have a beautiful time and life and kids together, tell me that she's not good, that she's this evil, boys. And I chose you guys and mom over them. And your mom did not. Hence, she is still with you guys. Or she is still with her family. And they're loving it. They're loving it. Is their territory now. And they're going to cheat and they're going to change everything about you, boys. They're going to take away as if it was territory that they conquer now. Oh yeah, they're ready to fight. But I'm not going to fight. I'm going to talk more about it. It's already been an hour, so let me continue on. So yeah, after finishing talking to my sister, he called the social worker requesting to sign the safety plan so he could came to see us. At that time, the social worker told him that in order to sign the safety plan, he had to show and prove that he had been taking the classes that CPS required, and since he was not following the requirements, the safety plan for supervised visits was not possible. Here's the funny thing, boys. So I have it recorded. I have everything. Oh, what was that name? Everything recorded, boys, so you can see it. Of the text message and everything. So let me tell you what really happened. So Raina was twisting my words on the phone. So, oh no, I asked her about the car. I said, hey, the plan was that I was going to get a job. I was iffy about starting the business at that time. So I said, no, I'm going to work DoorDash. I'm going to work here in Waco, but I need them to stay with you and you guys can help out. And I'm going to save because it comes down to saving, boys. And I can pay for the van and car insurance and the phone. And everything else I'm going to ask if you guys can provide because they were doing it already. That was what, March? So from November to March or the end of March. So 4 months. They were paying for everything. That was the other thing that hurted me, boys. That she wasn't asking for money. Like, it hurted me. Like, this whole time, for 10 years, I was fighting every day of working. Every minute of every day, boys. Because I knew money meant everything. And she just left me and didn't ask for money. But I know they need money. I know because I deal with the finances. I know how much we need. It just hurted me, boys. She didn't ask for nothing. I'm like, I don't understand it. So slowly understanding God, I'm like, no, just keep on working, saving money, and that's how we can get out of this. And I saw this as an opportunity. And she is good with her family. Again, my innocence kills me. This world kills my innocence. I saw her good. She's okay. She's in good hands with her family, right? Like her family loves them. I'm learning no. Let me tell you why no. So she's like, oh, so you're not gonna, like, right away, this fighting attitude. And right away she said, oh, so you're just gonna work and not worrying about them. I'm like, no, like, I'm saving money. I need to save money. So, oh no, it's not about money. It's about caring for your kids. I'm like, that too. I know. It's like, we're on the same page there. But I'm like, I see this, that they're in good hands. It's like, no, yeah, and what about the van? And that was funny. I was like, well, I cannot pay the van right now. And she said, well, you gotta change the name and then we can pay it. But I'm like, well, why can't you pay it right now? Like, she's like, no, it has to be in Nancy's name. And I was like, so that tells you proof right there, boys, that they already think it's siding. But I don't blame them, because I bet you if Nancy were to call my siblings and try to act like we're one family, my siblings would do the same thing. Like, no, I'm with Nico. And that is wrong. That is wrong. It just hurts, boys, because even our own family screws us. That's why I said goodbye to my family. I grew up. I matured. I understood what was my life now. And your mom never understood it. And she's very easily manipulated by them. But no, I'm the manipulator. I never, boys. You know. Isaac, you know. I never manipulated your mom. I always said your mom's the authority. Your mom has a say too. Listen to your mom. I never put her where she was down or anything. I kissed her in front of you guys. I loved her in front of you guys. I hugged her. She opened up to me about her trauma when she was 5 years old and her uncle abused her. I was there listening to her. No one ever listened to her. I did, boys. I would write beautiful letters to her. I would appreciate everything she's done for me. That's not a sign of manipulation. So that's what it was. And then she like, oh, I gotta go. I'm like, come on, like, let's not end on bad terms. Like, I'm trying to work with you. But it sucks because I'm talking to an enemy. And I'm not an enemy. It's just so hard, boys. I can't talk to you guys directly. So many second points of view, so many opinions. She's not truly just a messenger. She puts her own agenda, her own opinion. It just sucks, boys. So yeah, I was misunderstood and I wanted to go over there. And as I was going over there, I was writing to the Donisha, the CPS lady, and she said, no, you have to go show proof. And the funny thing was, I told her, but if you could ask her that I've done it unorthodox way. There's a YouTube lady, Dr. Snipes, I listen to about anger. I'm learning so much about that. That is really changing me. The breathing techniques, the recognizing the fire alarm when it comes on, aka what I did that night where I should have figured out a fire alarm. Like, hey, it may be crazy, but calm down. All these things I'm learning already, and I'm feeling the change. I don't need no classes, just an hour of it. That's what people are scared of. They need documentation. They need proof. They need to feel Jesus's wounds. Not me. I changed. And I told her to tell Nancy, your mom, that I've been listening to EWTN, the Catholic radio. I'm learning so much about peace and everything. And she said that wasn't enough. But I think that was a different time because I asked twice. But as I was driving there, I asked once and she mentioned like, no, I think I called her. She was like, no, you had to go through this process. And I'm like, okay. And I hung up peacefully. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I drove over there anyways. And that was the best time because I don't know if she let you or you guys walked out by yourselves. Sounded like you guys walked out by yourselves because she was like, no salgan. Like as if I was a poison or something. That hurted me too, boys. Your mother wouldn't even step out. But Isaac and Betty did. It was beautiful, boys. It was beautiful. Hugging you and talking to you. And it was beautiful, boys. So, yeah. It was beautiful. So, let me continue. But, yeah, boys. And they took me. The police took me. I came in peace. They took me in handcuffs. But I don't care because I got to see you guys. That's the last time I got to see you guys. So it was worth it, boys. Because I wanted it. I hugged you. I touched your face. So, that was it. So it took me to jail. It was funny because I was more prepared in jail. I didn't cry as much. I was ready. I was more matured, and I got out in 2 days. And so, where we're at here. So Nico decided to come to her house. My sister called the police when she saw him arriving. He was arrested for violating the condition of bond. He's been sending videos to my sister and some of my siblings. In one of the videos, he was asking me to decide if I wanted a divorce or for him to use our money to open up a shop for his business. Wow, that's not true at all. I decided to divorce because I see that he does not want to help, that he does not want the help that he needs. He thinks therapy and classes do not help him. Man. So I think I told you boys already, but I'll say it again. There's a strategy we learned that I learned through this psychology world of understanding more about your anger and everything. And I discovered this, and I told her this. I'm like, yeah, people just become rebellious no matter what. We always take sides, like naturally. We take sides. Like if you talk about a movie, oh, I don't like this movie. We always are taking sides. It's funny, like the opposite. When we joke about it, she knows it. So in my mind, I'm like, how can I communicate with her by her only knowing? Because I can't communicate to her directly. So I'm like, well, let me talk about divorce. So I brought up the idea, if I go away, if I give up parental rights, everything, that I just say goodbye to everything. And in my mind, I'll never do that. But again, I took that risk. And I'm happy I took that risk. Because it taught me a lot. But I wanted her to do the opposite. So if I go all in of saying, no, I want a divorce, I'm going to do this, give up my parental rights, everything. And I bet you they're telling you everything about that part. I bet you guys know all about it. Oh, your dad did this. But in reality, no, boys, it's my strategy. Because again, I think a lot. I find ways to bring us together. And that was one of the ways. But your mom didn't think about us. That's what I learned. Your mom didn't think about it because she knew I always talked about it. So instead of her doing the opposite, which is, no, I want to work on this, I want to do this, she chose the divorce. She was okay. And that's what she did. And there are many videos I sent to you boys, little minute videos. You probably never received them because your grandma told me that she ripped up and didn't give your mom the letters I wrote. And she did ask, and your mom said no, throw them away. So I don't know. Again, I don't know who's telling the truth. I don't know if she threw it away on purpose and not even told your mom, or she did tell your mom. Again, I refuse to believe that all this time your mom lied. That she said, solo para ti, and I love you. And I've always said I love you just to make sure to confirm our love. And she always said yes. And I said it a couple months prior. So I know I was up to date. And, but yeah, so you probably never even seen the videos. But it's okay. I recorded them still. They're still recorded. But I did minute videos. I made just the fun things just to stay in your life. But I figured, well, they're not going to send it to you. So let me do these videos instead. Because I know when you guys get older, you're going to see these. So, yeah. So all that is a lie, boys. And it just sucks. On April 22nd, 2024, my sister told him my decision, and that morning he came to the house again. As soon as my sister saw him arriving, she called the police again. He entered the backyard again. He entered the backyard, dropped a binder, his wallet, and his cell phone by the back door. He left before the police arrived. When the police arrived, they collected the items that he left. 3 hours later, he came back to the house and knocked on the back and the front door. The police were called again, and then he was arrested. A no trespassing order was placed. So, that was when I tried to commit suicide. When your mother wrote back through your sister, or her sister, Reina, she said, divorce. Said she wanted a divorce. That hurted me, boys. So I said, I give up. I wanted to die. I never thought of divorce. Never. Not even through this whole thing. And, yeah. I never. I know I told her grandmother that I want to give up, or your grandmother. But I never got a lawyer. I never did anything. I wanted her to see, hey, let me talk about divorce so you don't have to think about it. But my plan failed. It's okay. I still know what I love and who I love. So I wanted to die, boys. So I prepared everything. I bought a little propane stove before to make steaks, and I had in the back, and I don't like blood. It freaks me out. So I said I could either turn into a driving car and get in an accident there, or let me do it the simple way: carbon monoxide poisoning with the propane tank. So I would close all the windows and just fall asleep. And I studied it. I found out what it was. I was ready to go. So I dropped off the binder that had some beautiful letters that I wrote to your Bob there. I said, I'm sorry. I wrote to your sister, told her how much money we had, and the bank account information, the login information, and then my debit card. I gave my wallet. I dropped off everything there, and I said, and then I drove to St. Francis. Well, first I drove to the park, because I passed by the park, Cameron Park, and I was just sitting there or standing there, and I just kept looking up. It was a beautiful day in the morning, and I said, thank you, God, for everything I've done. I'm sorry I have to do this. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do. But thank you for everything. You gave me such a beautiful life. I said all those things. I kept saying Isaac's name, Betty's name, William's name, Vince's name, Mommy's name. I kept saying all their name, and I said, thank you, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I know I'm going to hell for this, so I'm sorry. So I went to the church, St. Francis, and I was kneeling down. I was crying. A lady gave me a napkin, and so I was trying to be quiet, but all these tears came out, and I was like, I'm sorry. I don't want to do this, but I don't know what else to do. You guys are all my life. I can't imagine being separated. I can't. It hurt so much. So I walked in there. I touched the walls. I remember Isaac playing music up there with his choir. All these beautiful memories in that church. So I parked right in front of the church, and I put the propane on. I tried to fall asleep, and I turned up. It was so hot because it was fire, and I tried to go to bed. I was there for like an hour or two, probably even more, because it was 3 hours. The paper said I came back like 3 hours later. So I spent about an hour at the at the park, and then probably another hour and a half or so or more at the church, and then probably another hour of just trying to die, and it didn't. I was so sweaty, it was so uncomfortable, and I was just go to sleep, and something came in my head, voice, and I just got up, and it was like a jolt. It was like a jolt of energy there. I turned it off. I opened up the windows, and I drove straight over there. And I was gonna say, I'm gonna keep on going for my family. And that was the moment when I don't care what happens to me. I know my life. And then Dad came down because the police got me, and in my head I was like, oh man, I still want to die. I still want to die, boys. It kept coming to me. So I tried again at the jail. I tried 16 hours. I kept counting. 16 hours. If you hold your pee, you can get water poisoning and it can kill you. I tried that. It hurted, man. It hurted so bad holding your pee. I didn't know I could hold that much. Like, you felt so much even up here. And they let me go, and I had nothing. And that was crazy those next 2 days because I had nothing. Jonathan helped me. I had no wallet, no money. Nothing, boys. But I kept going. And then when I was in that hotel, I kept walking, and a guy that was on heroin, his friend took me to drop me off close to China Springs so I could walk to Alonzo's. I couldn't find Alonzo's house because it was all dark. I was in the country walking, so tired. I didn't drink or eat for 2 days, and I was walking for like 6 hours, and I kept going. I said, okay, God, don't be a victim, just keep going. And your Andy Sandler's house is right there, and I didn't want to bother because I know they're against me, so I keep going. I had nothing, boys, and I keep going. And I still love your mother. I still love your mother. I don't care what they say. I don't care what your mom says about her being scared. She'll realize it, whether it's now or 20 years from now. She's going to realize how much I love her. And I'll still love her then. I'll still love her. She's the reason why I'm here. God made me survive. I don't know why, boys. I followed all these steps, but He wants me alive. So I stopped thinking of killing myself. I just stopped. And I kept going. And more tragic things are happening to me, and I keep going. I keep smiling. So on April 22nd, 2024, my sister told, I think I wrote this. Yeah, I think I said, about a month ago, I filed for child support after he received a notification by mail at his father's house. He contacted one of my family members to let me know he was going to look into that, and he was going to deposit $500 to our shared banking account for me to use. When I first moved out, he had stopped making deposits into the joint account. That's not true, boys. That's not true. I was putting money in there, and she wasn't taking nothing out. She wasn't. And then I think when I had that phone call from your sister, or from her sister, I started switching. I put into another checking account because I know what to do with our money. And I was going to use that to put money in there. And boys, I don't have a lot right now. I had to pay for the crazy lawyer for my criminal case. I don't want to go to actual jail, actual prison. Scared that it might run out of memory, so let me just be quick. So I've been told that the CPS closed their case on May 13th since Nico is not cooperating. Is that funny? I have proof that I've reached out, and she was like, no, it's not enough. Mom says not enough of the EWTN and of the YouTube learning. No, she doesn't want to believe that those free things can change. You need to have proof. It's okay, boys. Time is on my side. But yeah, is that funny? It proves my point. They don't care, the CPS. No, let's close out to the other one. It's just funny. Nico has been indicted for felony injury to a child that has twice violated the conditions of bond by coming to my sister's home where I live with the kids. I believe a temporary order needs to be entered in this case to add another layer of protection for me and the kids. And there's your mom, signed it. It hurts, boys, it hurts. It hurts. Another layer of protection of this criminal. It hurts, but I'm gonna keep going, boys. I'm gonna keep going. Okay? I'm never giving up. I don't care what they say. I don't care what people... I don't even care if I go to jail. I don't care, boys. I know what I'm gonna do. I don't think I'm going to jail. I hope not. But I know I'm going to do probation because it doesn't look good for me. By me going to see you guys and wanting to end my life, that was the reasons why I went over there. But they said next time if I do it, it's going to be worse. So I can't go over there. It just sucks, boys. I don't understand. I love you boys so much. I didn't see your mom trust me. I was just frustrated. And then your grandmas, and I know you guys are all, or not you guys, they are all the same, boys, because they're one master controlling all these slaves. They're one animal. And your grandmother said, "Oh, why are you even doing the business? You're gonna lose. You're gonna fail. It's worse. All this stuff, like everything's against me." But it's kind of funny, boys, because in a weird way, in the divorce, it says nothing about the business. So I'm gonna be clear about the business. And yeah, I'm gonna talk about it where I'm gonna give her something for the business, like $1,000 or something. But boys, she's gonna miss out on all the money. The real reason why I got frustrated, and the real reason why they're making me pay all this stuff, is just all money, boys. And there's nothing wrong with it. You needed to provide. But this whole time your mom was pushing me, saying, "No, you don't." That kind of gave me trauma anyways, but I don't want to fight, boys. I'm not going to fight. The court wants us to fight. I'll fight for your kids so they all win and make money while they destroy a family. No. You can't lose a fight that you don't enter. It's the lesson of the day. So you always win a fight if you don't enter into a fight. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not entering into nothing. I'm not going to get a lawyer. I'm not going to get counsel. I'm not going to talk bad about anyone. Because they're my family. Even though they think we're enemies. But yeah, boys, I'm going to continue doing DoorDash. Today and tomorrow, my DoorDash days. They'll be living for another day. So, alright, boys, I'll talk to you again. And I think that's all I want to say. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to fight for our family. Not for you guys only. For us. Because that's the real love. Us as a family. No matter how many people and even her own family members will say no, it will never work. As a Catholic family. Oh, it's tough, boys. All right, boys. Hope you have a good day. All right. Have a good one. Talk to you again.